Hi everyone, my name is Daniel Madison. I am known as OKCoyote on the TrekCC forums. I am the writing team manager over at the Continuing Committee, and I am hosting a second edition uh, regional championship for supposed to be for the Space Coast region. However, due to the pandemic, it's going to be held online. This will be on Saturday, October 17th, starting at 11 a.m. And this will be a Winston Draft. And this video is going to be a teaching tool to explain to players what exactly a Winston Draft is if you've never heard of it. And if you have heard of it, uh, a description of how I will be modifying it for the Star Trek 2nd Edition game. So, uh, first things first, you will need, if you're planning on playing with us, you will need the Lackey software to allow you to play online. You can build a deck on there and connect with other players and play your games. You'll need an audio software, Skype or Discord works. And you will need Zoom to join our call at the start of the event where we will be live drafting the cards. Right here using this camera on this tabletop. So, how is this going to work for Star Trek? Winston Draft is a casual draft format. It was developed for Magic the Gathering. Um, it was developed for smaller groups of players, like 2 to 4 players, usually 2 players, but it can usually run with 2 to 4, to allow them to booster draft without the full 8-player booster draft experience. So the basic concept is that all players will be drafting from the same stack of cards, but I'm going to get into that right now and how it's going to be modified for Star Trek. So first, each player that enters the event will start with a full set of Infinite Diversity. That is a 21-card expansion, which is designed as a framework for the start of your deck, for so you to have enough playable cards no matter what you draft. So everyone will get the same fixed 21 cards. There's a bunch of dilemmas here. These 8 dilemmas. So that everyone will have some dilemmas to start with. We've got an equipment card, the Hypospray, a few basic events, 1 universal mission, a bunch of non-aligned personnel, and 1 non-aligned ship. So everyone will get those 21 cards. Those will be sent to you before the draft. In addition, each player will get 4 headquarters cards, headquarters missions, of which you will be allowed to play between 1 and 3, actually in your deck. And all of the cards you draft will be, as far as personnel and ships and events that reference affiliations, like they're all going to be cards that will be playable at 1 or more of these headquarters. So, you know, you can play this with different combinations of headquarters. The one I'm using as an example here is the Dominion War, which uses Cardassia and the Founder's Homeworld, Deep Space Nine, and Kronos. So this stack will have Cardassian's Dominion, DS9, and Klingons. So those are your headquarters missions. Also of note, because we will be using infinite diversity rules, even if you only run 1 headquarters, you can play personnel and ships that don't normally report to your headquarters at cost +1. So everyone is still playable even if you decide not to run their headquarters. So we're up to 25 cards that are fixed that everyone gets. In addition, each player will randomly receive a pack of 9 missions. These will not be drafted. These will be handed out to each player. They are not fixed. Each player will get 9 random missions to just kind of get you started. So there may be more missions in the draft packs. But after getting these, you should have some idea what you want to do, or should be able to make some sort of framework of what kind of deck you're looking for. Anyway, normally in an infinite diversity draft, after you get all that, you would get 6 packs of 9 cards each that get drafted 1 pack at a time. In this case, everybody takes, that's going to be 54 cards. In that, what will actually happen is every player will take all their packs. They will all be shuffled together. So if you have 4 players drafting, that's 54 times 4. We're going to have a big stack of 216 random cards. This is not a full-size stack. I'm just using it here as a reference to kind of show you how the draft works. The actual stack when we draft will be a lot bigger. But let's say, yep, this is our stack of cards. This is all our players. So you put this stack down, and then you take the top 3 cards, and you make 3 piles of 1 card each next to your big stack. So we're going to call this A, B, C, and then that's the stack. So we randomly determine who gets to draft first, and that person will look at the first card from, well, not first card, we'll look at pile A, no matter how many cards are in it. Here we have a Cardassian phaser pistol. Now, that player can decide they want to take this card or pass it. If they pass it, or if they take it, they take it. They've drafted that card, they replace it with a new card from the top of the deck, from the top of the stack. If they decide they don't want to take it, they put it back, they add a card to the stack, so now there are 2 cards here, and they move on to the next pile. So now we look at pile B. Here we have a Bajoran scout vessel. Once again, the player can choose. They can take this card and replace it with a card on the stack, or they can pass it. And if they pass it, we add a card, making a pile of 2. And then we move on to pile C. Now we have Rom here. Now we can decide to take Rom, or, again, take Rom and replace it with a card from the top, or we can pass this one as well. We put it back, we add a card to the pile, and we move on. You cannot go backwards. If you've passed a pile and added a card and moved on to the next one, and you're looking at this one, you can't then decide you want to go back to a previous pile. You either move forward or you stop. So, if you have passed all 3 piles, if you found nothing you liked in any of these 3 piles, then your only choice is to take the top card of the stack, whatever it may be. That is the card you draft. In this case, it's an interrupt, means of control. So that is our draft card, if you passed all 3. Now, when the next player goes to draft their first card or cards, you again start with pile A. You always start with pile A. Now there are 2 cards here. We have Cardassian phaser pistol, and we've added a Davin. There he is. It's Davin. So now you can decide to take pile A, and if you take pile A, you don't take 1 card, you take all the cards in the pile. So you can take it and replace it with 1 card, or you can pass and add a card and move on. See, now we've added another card to here. Now there's 2 cards. Let's say we take this stack. We take 2 cards, we replace it with 1. Now, as you can see, over time, some of these piles might get larger and larger until they become attractive enough that a player decides to take them. And we keep going like this until all the cards have been drafted out. And then anything you have at that point, you can whittle down into a playable deck at your leisure. So that is basically the rules of how a Winston Draft will work. Like I said, this will be Saturday, October 17th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a private message. I'm OKCoyote on the TrekCC forums, or you can comment on this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to be drafting with you soon.